So I've been in this new relationship with a person who is super, super good looking. And my personal insecurity is around how I look. And so what I'm navigating is kind of dealing with that insecurity in this relationship. You know, before, way before, it was enough to be with somebody who I knew found me attractive. But that individual wasn't necessarily, like, I found them attractive, but they weren't necessarily like a straight up, a straight up snack. And then like the next one of the, a couple of the next guys that I dated were super good looking, but they didn't seem to be into me. And I felt like horribly insecure. So now, I went into lockdown, went into quarantine, and was just like, I'm gonna live my best life. I'm gonna be all about this mess. And, just really like, you know what? Yeah, I feel cute, or I feel pretty, or whatever it is, building up my self-esteem, but in context of me relating to myself. So now I'm in a dynamic with a person who is very attracted to me, and is also just, muscles, dimples, like gorgeous eyes, love science fiction, blah, blah, blah. Like, go down the list of just, like, deeply attractive. Like, today we had a text exchange about Einstein's theory of relativity. He was like, oh, yeah, he just started telling me about it. It's like, I need a fan. Please bring me my smelling salts. Oh, my gosh. So I'm deeply, deeply, impressed with this person, and he's objectively attractive, and I'm deeply attracted to him on multiple levels, and he is showing every indication of being very attracted physically to me. And I notice within myself, I'm like, why? And recognizing like some old layers of self-esteem. But instead of trying to figure out why he's attracted to me, really the issue is how I feel about me. And obviously there's stuff that I'd like to do, get better, areas for improvement and growth. And so kind of recalibrating what my brain is doing, my thought patterns around it. Trusting that we get into relationships with people who are very similar to ourselves. And so that, I trust me and how I'm attracted to people. In particular, this person's integrity and honesty. Don't get me wrong. I'm super into talking about Star Trek all day, but, that he's proactively honest, and there are all these layers, because someone can be physically good looking all day long. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm attracted to them. A lot of my attraction comes from, honestly, it's almost like I like him so much despite the physical, because old me would have seen that dude and been like because I was coming from a pretty judgmental place, and I would have assumed either A, this isn't necessarily a, smart person that I would be intellectually interested in, or if they were a smart person that I would be intellectually interested in, there's no effing way they would be interested in me. And so I don't want to sabotage this new connection with my insecurities. I want to trust that, I'm the person that I am, and that I am connecting with a person who is similar to me. And so that when they see me, they are into me for whatever multiple reasons. But it's hard. I have to remind myself, like, it's okay. It's okay for someone else to find me hot and to trust that they do, and to like support them in that just as much as I would support them in like at work or anything else. You know, his experience of who I am is very different than my experience of who I am. You know, a lot of the stuff that he's reflecting back to me is, you know, I mean, other than the like physical attraction, you know, has to do with feeling appreciated and, you know, kind of like my energy, like stuff related to that. And so he's not boiling me down to this one particular piece of me. And I have to really like remind myself of that. You know, he's seeing me as a complete whole person, and he's attracted to me physically, legitimately, but also he's attracted to how I'm showing up, who I am, how I interact with him. So I'm noticing this challenge in myself, and you know, I do think, you know, we go off into kind of like a hermit mode, you know, where we heal and recover, and we're like, okay, yeah, and then you get back out into the world and you're like, oh. So I'm trying to catch that pattern early, because I don't want to sabotage this particular connection, you know. Yeah. So one thing that's helping me with that actually is, and I mentioned in past videos, that working on taking things slow. There's a little bit of distance between us, so we're not spending, you know, like let's say we've just met and we're spending every day together. There's days in between, and that means that we're communicating, you know, like on the phone, but also that I'm having space to kind of process my experience with him and course correct, kind of like I mentioned in another video, instead of, you know, building up insecurities or feeling scarcity. You know, he's attracted to me because of, you know, I was coming from this place of like, yeah, I'm feeling myself and I love my life and everything's awesome. And then like, how crazy would that be for me to turn around and be like, oh my gosh, you know, what is he doing with me? And like, I don't think I'm that great. And, you know, it's like being a completely different person. So being able to carry forward the healing pieces of ourselves when we get back into what could be old dynamic, old patterns, old habits. One thing I'm trying to do is be very like proactively honest to myself, like this is where I'm coming from, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling. He did let me hand him his ass at chess. I mean, I'm not even like a great chess player, but I mean, it was so nice to sit down at like coffee and just like at breakfast and play a couple games of chess, you know, and instead of that being something that would intimidate him or make him not like me, he was actually like, oh my gosh, you know, and I wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't make sense to be with a guy who'd be intimidated by that. I really wish I could go back and tell like 14-year-old me that, or 16-year-old me that, or 20-year-old me that. But anyway, so the distance and not, you know, going all in so fast is giving me the space to, you know, challenge some of my thinking patterns and to kind of stretch into areas where I don't feel comfortable. Which, you know, a lot of that for me is going to be all of this. So I thought I'd pass that along because I know I'm not alone. My child's father is starting to date, and the woman he is dating is also very insecure about her body. But he's so like, no, you girl, I'm all into that, you know? And you can kind of, the way he talks about her, you can tell she's starting to gain her confidence with him. So it does matter also who we're with. If you're with somebody who's not into you, it's gonna feel terrible. So anyway, hope this makes sense, and I'll talk to you next time.